What's going on, everybody? GemMint here, San Diego Comic-Con 2022 at the Sideshow booth with Paul.
Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Paul Hernandez, the associate producer for the video marketing content here. Dude, what's up, man? I'm excited to be here.
You gonna help me do a tour of this booth?
You walk, I'll talk.
It's a huge booth. We're gonna cover some of my favorite pieces. Let's go. All right, so the first thing we're gonna look at is what was behind us. We have a new Spider-Man line, and they have this interesting perspective base. Could you tell something about the sculptor, the design, or?
Yes, so it's sculpted by the incredible Daniel Bell.
Daniel Bell.
Yeah, it is so much fun. I mean, we love everything about this piece, especially with the lighting. The entire line of these three here, it's a force perspective base.
Right.
You can see that there's a fun, you know, the characters look awesome, the base is cool, but the lighting really is key. As you can see, it's lighter on this side. You can imagine that the sun is hitting here, and it's darker on this side.
On the Oscorp side,
on the Oscorp side. And even the way that some of the shading is done on the character, they wanted to feel like you're jumping out of a comic book. You know, you gotta get this perspective.
You gotta have fun with it, right? Coming right out the pages. What I liked about Spider-Man, I don't see any neck seams. I don't see any seams whatsoever.
Yeah, he's, again, an entirely sculpted piece. Everything that you're gonna see back here, except for Miles, is sculpted. Miles does have a fabric jacket.
So Spider-Man revealed San Diego Comic-Con. Gwen and Miles were a little bit prior.
Yep.
These go up for pre-order shortly after the con?
Yeah, they're up for pre-order now, all of it.
Yeah, so you can see the mixed media elements with Miles, with the jacket. I like how he's got the trademark shoes. He's known for being a sneakerhead. The base is crazy too with the train, and it's still got that perspective look to it. And then, like I mentioned, Gwen. You have Gwen Stacy as Spider-Woman, and she is on the phone with Miles. You can see him actually on her phone.
All right, and her hood looks so good. It actually looks like it's fabric, but that's entirely sculpted. So Gwen is entirely sculpted.
I definitely thought that was fabric.
Yeah, and she's got the exclusive head on her right now because it comes with the masked and unmasked portrait as well.
Gotcha. You know, I was stoked to see some X-Men pieces for the first time in person. We're seeing the Jean Grey Phoenix diorama. Now, I was always like wondering what the scale was going to be on this. Does Sideshow really give this scale, or is a maquette just kind of a non-scale thing?
So the maquette allows us to play with the figure itself, and it doesn't really trap us into like what we have to sit in the scale. But usually, again, most of them sit between like that 1/5 size scale, you know, like the premium formats that you know and love.
Yeah, so similar in scale, but it could be a little different depending on how elaborate the base is. As you can see, this is a 2-character piece with the Phoenix flame rising above. Impressive in person, loving Nightcrawler, but I think Nightcrawler was a hit from pictures.
Oh yeah, they won multiple pre-orders. People loved him. He comes with swap-out hands. You can get double swords on him, and just that Sentinel base with that brimstone smoke coming out of his hand, man, it's such a cool effect. Really hope you guys can see it in person soon.
And I love the paint job. Something about it is comic-y, animated series style, still modern and realistic. It's somewhere in between that just works.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we have Psylocke in person, another one that I think was a hit from pictures.
Yeah, man. I mean, people loved it, and that was really the first time we were showing people that force perspective base. You've got the moon. It's like a traditional Japanese setting with the shurikens in it, and if you look at it in person from like where we're standing now, you can feel that force perspective on it.
No, definitely. I like the risk that Sideshow has taken with the bases, doing something different. And Psylocke is a hard character to get the portrait right, but I haven't heard anything about the portrait on this one. I think it looks incredible.
And you won't, because it's fire.
This one was a total surprise for me. Wasn't revealed during Sideshow Con. It was just an SDCC exclusive, the Black Panther premium format with the Chadwick Boseman portrait.
Yes, I mean, this weekend I feel like it's going to be all about Black Panther and Chadwick Boseman. You know, you've got Saturday, this comes with this sculpt, and it also comes with the alternative head sculpt of the traditional Black.
You got to have the Black Panther mask, right?
Yeah, and if you want to pay homage, you got Chadwick right here.
I like how you guys and your partners PCS both surprised us with the Black Panther piece, who has been like criminally underused in the statue community. So nice to see a nice gamer-verse version, a nice movie version, and with the mask, you can kind of pair that with comic versions as well.
Absolutely.
Behind Black Panther sits Iron Man. Now, we saw the Mark 7 a while back, but you had to pair them up with Black Panther and the new Mark 3, which, loving the pose, superhero pose.
Yeah, it's classic now. I mean, this pose by Iron Man is classic. It will come, we can tell you now, that base that you're seeing, that blue effect, that'll be a light-up effect in the final production. He will light up on the eyes, the arc reactor, and on parts of his hand as well.
So you guys have been doing a lot of crazier bases, perspective bases. This one is taking it back a little bit more on the classier end, the sleek black with just that rubble being destroyed by Iron Man. It works. All right, so here's the thing. I thought this Wolverine was a variant of Martin Canale's brown suit because the pose is like that exaggerated lunging, but it's a totally different piece.
Yeah, so this is a piece that he's had, Martin Canale has had in his head for years. He's been working out just right, paying homage to just the right parts of Wolverine's long samurai lore. You know, a lot of your fans, they know their comic book history.
The Frank Miller miniseries.
Exactly. Yeah. So you can see, and he, you know, here pays homage to so many different parts of Wolverine, and especially that Muramasa blade that he's got there. Now, it actually has some sculpt on the bottom and under the hilt with Muramasa's name.
Oh, wow. And then we have Thor. Now, Thor is a piece that I thought was a little safe in pictures. You have a Breaker of Brimstone, right. Daniel Bell. It's one of the definitive quarter scale pieces. So I'm like, in person, this Thor is impressive. It is so much bigger, and that's kind of a theme with statues. In person, they're so much larger. But the Thor piece looks great. It's got the mixed media elements, fabric cape, and the amazing base.
You've got this frost giant on it. I mean, and even the tusk coming out of the side. It's got a little bit of almost wood-like, tusk-like weathering on it. You can see where it's snapped off and where Thor has just gone through this frost giant.
Amazing piece, quarter scale Thor, and of course we have Dr. Doom in the back here. We did get a chance to see him during Sideshow Con one of these years ago, so cool to see him here displayed with these pieces. Make sure to check it out if you stop by. Okay, I know we've already seen these pieces at Sideshow Con, but I am a symbiote guy. I mean, obviously Venom, Spider-Man, one of my favorites. Love the symbiote trio that we have on display here.
I mean, dude, they're great, especially when you see them all in person and the size between Carnage and Venom. And then you've got the symbiote Spider-Man. They are in scale to each other, and they look so great, especially with those bases and just like the tendrils and all of the symbiote goo coming off.
You got to have the goo, and this Carnage, it's got to be the best Carnage statue I've ever seen. Amazing pieces. Can't wait to own these. These are on pre-order. Definitely going to be in the collection. Before we continue, I want to thank That Spider-Man Booth for sponsoring this video. Make sure you're following them over on Whatnot for daily live comic book auctions. You could win CGC key issues and get some great exclusive variants from their sister site, Street Level Hero. If you haven't, you can download Whatnot in the link in the description. It'll actually give you a $10 credit that you can use towards your first purchase. I know it's a Sideshow booth, but you guys are partners with great companies like Prime One Studio, who have these huge 1/3 scale Green Lantern and Sinestro pieces.
Dude, they came to play this year. I mean, it's so great. I'm a huge Green Lantern fan. That's my character.
Dope.
So I didn't even know these were going to be in the booth until we got here. And then you see them together. You see Hal with Badge, and you see Val Sinestro here by himself holding that fear battery. And one of my favorite details on this, I mean, we could talk about it for hours, is the difference in the way that this energy is moving. So in the fear energy, it's a little more chaotic, it's spread out, it can't be controlled. And with the Green Lantern, you can see it's more controlled, it's swirling, and that's just representative of each of these characters. And Prime One did a great job with this.
That's a great detail. I didn't really notice that until you pointed it out, because it is clean wrapping around him. I love the translucent resin. I love that candy paint on the green, and they have a nice shine on the black on both pieces as well. The paint really pops on these pieces.
And the logos up top too.
Of course, they got the Green Lantern core and the Sinestro core, but we got to move around to this 1/3 scale Joker sitting on throne, I guess you would call it, with Punchline. This is another one that in pictures, yeah, you know it's 1/3 scale, but when you see it in person, you really feel the presence of this piece. It's epic.
Yeah, they're incredible. Now, Punchline will come with 3 alternative head sculpts. You've got Joker here. Now, this is a piece that looks like a fabric cape, but Prime One did an excellent job of sculpting that. Now, the bases do come together as a diorama, but they are sold separately. But I mean, when you see them together, right, you've got to have them, and it's good.
I thought it was awesome. Feed pointed out that they have their cutie ones tied into the base as Easter eggs. Yes. That was super smart.
That, and then you've got the movie reel canisters there from the films that, I mean, this is a, you know, an homage to Jorge Jimenez and his Joker War line.
That's right.
When the Joker sent Bruce those different videotapes to have him come watch.
And the final showdown was in the theater with all of the Gothamites in the stands. Shout out to Jorge Jimenez. Prime One Studios killing it. They have one more piece I want to show you guys. Now, I don't typically collect movie pieces, but you can't deny how well done this Batman piece is. I mean, look at this. Now, you had it displayed on day 1 and 2, I believe, with the maskless portrait. This is him with the cowl on. It looks amazing.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah, we were fortunate enough to be able to show the alternative head sculpt with likeness to Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne himself. We've got the cowl on here. You can see the various like scratches in the head. And again, this is a mixed media piece. You've got a mixed media cape on the back, and you just really get to see a lot of the details that you couldn't really pick out in the film.
And it's an all-black piece, so for them to sculpt in those intricate details, it really sets it apart and gives you that lifelike realism and not just a solid black statue. They did a great job. Speaking of Robert Pattinson's Batman, you guys revealed a new premium format, and you guys did him on bike.
Yes, yeah, it was, you know, again, it was a risk, calculated, but we think it paid off because we were actually fortunate enough to use some of the project files from the film. You're going to get a really good look at the bike and him on that bike in the film. So we were fortunate enough to work with the team and bring this bike to life as accurate as you can get.
Yeah, I mean, to see a quarter-scale motorcycle, Sideshow producing that, that's incredible. And for a premium format, you typically think maybe museum pose, something still. This is much more than what you would call a typical premium format. This is almost like...
Yeah, I mean, it's different. Again, like, we like to take risks. If we wouldn't be Sideshow if we didn't take risks. And it's got a mixed media cape, it's got a faux leather, and actually there's a bit of weathering and mud on the bottom of the cape as well. It's wires, you can pose it. Again, we don't have that many details. This is still a prototype, so I can't share too much about what may or may not come with it, but I mean, he is killer in person.
Now, this is one that when the pictures came out, I was on the fence. I'm a huge Frank Miller Dark Knight Returns fan. I've seen other pieces, like Prime 1 has done great representations of that character, and this one I wasn't sure until I saw it in person. This Daniel Bell Batman Dark Knight, the lightning bolt light up is insane.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we're big Frank Miller fans, we're big Batman fans at Sideshow, and it's daunting, right, to take on a character like this, and not only take on the character, but take on such an iconic moment in not only Batman history, but comic books.
From the cover.
Yeah, you can blink and you can see that cover right now.
And it's a silhouette on the cover, so you have to make that realistic. So Daniel Bell really took a risk here. I think he pulled it off. In pictures, I was on the fence. In person, I am 100% over the fence. More new reveals from Sideshow, a Joker premium format along with Harley Quinn. Now this Joker, gotta be honest, on pictures, I wasn't really sold either. You got to see this in person. In person, the pose is so creepy. It really captures the Joker's essence, his sinister nature in his face, getting ready to hit you with his electric hand buzzer.
Yeah, creepy, contorted. Daniel Bell's an anatomy nerd, so you know he had to put him in an uncomfortable position. My favorite thing is thinking of Daniel Bell sitting there in the mirror, you know, watching himself trying to get these poses.
Who did he have pose like this?
Yeah.
While he sculpted, or did he do it himself?
We love to think about it. I mean, he's great.
The blood splatter on the fingertips is amazing. I'm surprised that DC approved that, but I'm glad that they did. The Joker looks awesome. Now, the Margot Robbie Harley Quinn, the base is really interesting. It's like melted candle wax or birthday cake. Like, what is it?
Yeah, so we had one of our art directors on this, Richard Long. He's a big DC fan, and they wanted to capture not only what Margot Robbie brought to the character in James Gunn's Suicide Squad, but Harley Quinn is a character, like, in general, and it's vaguely recognizable, but slowly melting and deteriorating in that background, just like Harley Quinn. It's representative of her.
It doesn't really feel like a movie piece. It looks like it could be a comic piece that happens to look like Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. So great job on blending that in there. But the last one I want to show you from this one is the Batman Catwoman Maquette. So the Batman Catwoman diorama together, paying homage to Tom King's run that just recently completed. I mean, they had a huge arc in the ongoing Batman title, then they had the 12-issue maxi series, and I really think they captured that relationship in this piece.
They really did. I mean, there's a lot of fun details in this. I mean, she's very tentatively got her whip around him, so she never fully has Bruce, never. And you can see that not only is he holding her with his right hand, but his cape is almost kind of protecting her as well. And again, so representative of both of these characters' relationship to each other.
So awesome when a sculptor can tell a story just in the position that he has things moving and posing. Awesome piece. And we couldn't leave without talking about Prime 1 Studios' Vampirella from Dynamite Comics, 1/3 scale. The realism on this statue is next level.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, again, it's one of these pieces that you look at it and you think, oh, there's definitely mixed media elements. It's not. It's completely
100% sculpted.
Even the wine, or it's probably blood, that she's dropped on this blanket here, everything from the skulls and all of the texture on the snakes itself, it's beautiful to look at.
Definitely. And then from their Beast Wars line, resurrecting the line almost, if you will, you have the Megatron in dragon form, and he has a fallen enemy on the base as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is such a massive piece, and it's one of the pieces that people come in and you don't even have to know anything about the property itself, and you are just entranced because it's massive, it's huge. I mean, of course, you've got the original Megatron, Gen 1 Allspark inside his chest here. I believe he's on top of Tarantula, is his name.
Looks like it.
One of his ex-homies.
And then the wingspan is incredible. I love the dragon hand on his left hand. It looks awesome. Really makes me want to hunt down those 2 original Beast Wars pieces they made.
You should do it.
Paul, I want to thank you so much for taking us through a tour of all of my favorite pieces. Now, if they want to see everything, because I didn't have time to film the Hot Toys and the Star Wars pieces, where can they see the full tour?
Very simply, everyone, just go to side.show/YouTube. Go to our videos, all of our con coverage and our pre-con coverage, a little bit of our post-con coverage. We got some surprises. They're coming up there. So side.show/YouTube. Like, comment, register. You guys know him. You know what to do.
Stay minty fresh, y'all. Peace.
DJ Links.